Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I have a whole day without my babies, and although I will miss them, this gives me a chance to get a lot done. So, I get to put a little bit more effort and thought into today's message, and I'm going to talk about regret today, which is the one thing that I strive desperately to rid my life of. I don't want to live a life of regret, and neither should you. I am a big follower of Gary Vaynerchuk, and one of the things that he says all the time is spend time with older people and listen to what advice they have for you. And more often than not, they're going to tell you to start making decisions today, early in your life, that are going to give you the life that you want and are going to stop you from leading a path of regret where you look back at 80 years old at your life and you're thinking, oh my God, why didn't I just take that step? Why didn't I just believe in myself? Why don't I just follow my dream and stop caring about what everyone else thinks of me or wants for me to do? Let go of regret. That's number one in our lives, right? And that's in relationships, that's in our career, that's in our personal life, our spiritual being, our health and wellness. Let's make decisions today. They're going to set you up for a life that has no regret. And you can look back at 80 and say, wow, I did it. I'm proud of all the decisions I made and the person that I was. So I'm actually going to cover, of course, I'm getting a low battery signal. I'm going to cover just 3 tips of 10 that I have for living without regret. So we'll carry forward in this series later on in the week and talk more about how you can live a life without regret. So my first tip is don't buy things to make you happy, right? I do this, or I used to do this. I haven't shopped since I've had kids for myself. But people think that things in their life are going to bring them joy, but they don't. They're just items. I sell things on eBay. I talk about that a lot. And the stuff that I buy on eBay is stuff that years ago I spent tons of money on because I thought it was going to bring some sort of value to my life. And here I am trying to flip it for 10, 20 bucks when I may have paid $100 for it in the beginning. Things do not provide you value. They don't change your life. They don't bring added experience and joy and love into your life. Things don't equal value. And we're living in a society where we are perpetually given messages and, from society and reality TV and commercials and social media that you've got to have stuff. You've got to have the latest watch, nice jewelry, the latest clothes, freshly, done highlights 24/7. It's a lot. And there's a lot of pressure in this world to maintain a certain lifestyle that looks pretty and glitzy and glamorous and is always new and expensive, but it doesn't make sense. And it's leading you to a path in which you're not going to live with any more added value in your life at all by just accumulating stuff. And it's taking away money from your account, your bank account, that could be invested in a business or into something else that can make you more money to help you go out and live the dream life that you want. So say your dream life is to go live in Italy, which is mine. You have to have money to do that, right? So if you're pouring all of your money into clothes or cars or housewares or food, good food obviously is a good investment, but going out to restaurants every night and buying $50 bottles of wine, that doesn't make sense, and that doesn't position you to actually go and follow your dreams. So tip number 1 for living a life with no regret is don't buy stuff. All right. My second tip is something that took me a long time to figure out and to finally let go of, but it is stop pleasing other people. Whew, that's a big one, right? I mean, we're brought up to be obedient in society and to make everybody happy, especially our parents. I am a people pleaser. It's who I am. It's my nature. I want to make other people happy. Now, the good news is we can make other people happy, but you don't have to be a people pleaser and acquiesce to everything else that everyone expects of us in order to be a good person, or to please other people, or to love anyone, or to be lovable ourselves. It is our job and our innate duty as human beings and the special people and souls that we are on this earth is to be ourselves, truly and uniquely, without anybody else's expectations driving us or fitting us into a certain mold that doesn't fit who we are on the inside. So if you want to live a life with regret, if you want to look back at 80 years old and think, God, I wish I had done it all differently, you will make it your life's job to please people and to say yes to everything. And that's just, it's not sustainable. If you have a dream to follow and if you want a miraculously wonderful, exhilarating life, you have to start pleasing yourself. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean being a selfish person. It doesn't mean being a bad person. We very sadly in the society assign all these negative connotations and labels to people who actually make good decisions for themselves and put their own well-being and self-care ahead of the needs and well-being and care of other people. That's really terrible, isn't it? Because in order for us to be the best person that we can be and to give back to our community or the people that we love, we ourselves have to be fulfilled, and we have to honor our own needs and our own values and our own dreams. There's a saying that you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So if you yourself are empty, meaning you're not following your goals and your dreams and you're not honoring the person that you are, how can you be a good person for other people? So stop being a people pleaser and start pleasing yourself, and figure out what does that look like. If I start giving back to me and stop giving all of my energy and all of my being to everybody else around me, what does that life now look like? And I can guarantee you it probably looks pretty good and a lot different from what you're doing now. Once I decided to stop pleasing other people, my life changed dramatically. I started being an entrepreneur full-time, which changed my every day. Every day I'm happy, I'm excited. I wake up on Mondays and I'm excited to work. I work on Saturday nights because I love what I do. And I don't any longer feel like I have to explain myself or justify why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I love my life now. I'm not pleasing anybody else. I'm taking care of me, and that therefore makes me a better person in all aspects of my life, and it's changed things dramatically. So that's tip 2 for living a life with no regret, is stop pleasing other people. Now my battery is dying, so I've got to wrap this up pretty quickly, but I'm going to touch on one more thing, our third tip of 10 we're going to touch on this week. And that's, don't make promises you can't keep. Now, if you are constantly saying yes to everybody else, again, this goes back to pleasing other people. If you're a yes man to everything anybody asks of you, you're not positioning yourself to say yes to the things that you actually want. So, how does regret come from making promises to other people that we can't keep? We're positioning ourselves for failure because we know that promise might be difficult to attain. If we don't attain it or follow through with it, it hurts our character, it makes us a disappointment to other people, and then we feel bad internally, and it could possibly damage the relationship and the trust factor that you have with the other person. All of those are bad things, and it's going to weigh down on you, and it could have been changed in the beginning. If you had just said, you know what, this is a promise that I can't follow through with, I can try to help you to some degree, and this is what I can do, but I cannot make a promise I can't keep, because it's just not going to help this relationship and it's not going to help me. So learn to look at situations and look at your obligations and your commitments to other people and decide, without their expectations or perhaps judgment on you as to what your answer is, decide what the right response is given your available resources. Do you have enough energy? Do you have enough time? Do you have enough care or want to actually fulfill that promise? Think through it thoroughly before giving a response, because you don't want to be the kind of person who's making promises they can't keep and is therefore damaging the relationships that you have with the people that you care for in your life. So that's tip 3 for living a life with no regrets. And as I mentioned, my battery's going to die, so I'm going to cut this short. Tomorrow, perhaps, or later in the week, we'll pick up on the 7 other tips that I have for living a life without regret. And I hope that you can take some of this advice and start implementing it, because I can tell you, once you rid yourself of regret and you put yourself first in your life and you start believing in the dreams that you have, you will see miraculous things starts to change. I promise you that. I went through this. I'm still going through it every day, still a learning lesson. But I can tell you that there is an amazing life waiting for you if you just choose to accept it and to stop pleasing other people, learn to say no to the things that you don't want to do, and kick regret out the door. Who needs that? Let's be the 80, 90, 100-year-old person who looks back at life and says, wow, I really did some amazing things. Let's all do that. Let's all commit to that and leave a legacy behind that we can be very proud of. So those are your tips for today, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll check in with you later. Bye.